talk to you about trying to teach my students about science communication in the ecology course. So I don't know about a lot of you, but when I thought about science communication for a lot of my schooling, I thought about lecturing. And I had the experience of sitting through lectures on topics I thought were fascinating, but in fact I was bored to death, and so I was motivated to learn how to stop being boring. And then when I got my current position teaching undergraduates, I knew that it was important to also teach them to stop being boring because they have that problem too. So science communication, one of the issues or kind of psychological barriers I had to incorporating science communication in my classes was that I thought that it was kind of a soft skill that maybe wasn't appropriate for these rigorous biology courses that I was teaching. But that's actually not true, and I dove into the educational literature a bit and found that it's actually considered a transferable skill. There is not enough research on this, there should be a lot more, but it is one of the skills that employers are asking for, and that's considered to be of high value. I also had this assumption that maybe our undergraduates were science communication natives because they engage with social media so much and they have for a really long time. But actually that's not true. They're better at consuming media. And actually my students particularly have a lot of confidence issues with communicating science specifically through social media. And so that is an area that we're going to work on. When I really started to do this a lot, I felt like this author. I was agonizing over what to do, and so I just tried a bunch of different types of assignments. And so for the last 3 years, each course that I've taught has incorporated some sort of science communication assignment that's worth a significant amount of points. Sometimes group assignments, sometimes individual assignments. But when I went to the Ecological Society of America conference 2 years ago, I attended a workshop where I developed this new kind of way of teaching my lab course in ecology. It's a course-based undergraduate research experience, so all the students in the lab are doing authentic research around a single research question together. And the question is about how does urbanization affect ecosystem services in an urban wilderness preserve? And I thought science communication would be so good for this class because it is an issue that everyone in Austin is talking about and that our students find really, really relevant, right? So they can talk to their students about what they're doing. So we had a few different types of assignments, and I did pre and post for all of them to assess whether or not my students were improving by really engaging in this authentic research. And the first assignment, I did oral presentations, and I didn't give them a lot of direction. I just basically said you have to present the results of a study that was similar to what you were doing, and it was bad news. They did a really poor job. They had lack of confidence. They were very vague. Often they even misrepresented the data. The post assignments, that was at the end of the semester after they had done this research, they did better. And part of it, I think, was that they really took on the research as their own. Oop. Okay, I'm out of time. I'm sorry. We also did blog posts. They did much better on the blog posts. They were super creative. In the future, I'm going to do this forever, basically, and expand it. And one of the things I really need to do is improve my blog rubrics. And I would love to talk to people who want to collaborate. Okay, so one of the things that was a challenge for me was with the blog posts. My students actually had great writing skills, but their science communication skills were not as good, right? So when I graded the blogs, I used a rubric that was built for assessing blogs, but not science communication blogs. And so they're super creative. Like one of them wrote this poem that I put up there. They had great titles, but the science part of it wasn't as rigorous as I wanted it to be, and I think that's so important for our students. So I've been working on revising the blogs. I would love people to weigh in, and actually one of my good friends from grad school gave me this amazing idea, which was, well, do multiple scientists have this same idea about what good science communication is? And so that's kind of a side project that I like to do. If you know Kelly Ramirez, she was the one who thought of that idea. So that's kind of another thing that we'd like to do with this blog post rubric is send example blogs out to scientists and see if they grade it the same way. Okay.